I bought the DJI Action 4 for a couple reasons. One, I needed something that was smaller than the FX30. The FX30 is great, it has a great image, but the thing is, it's too big to just blend in. If I'm trying to blend into a scenario like in a store or on the sidewalk or anywhere in public, the DJI Action 4 is much smaller and more inconspicuous. Also, I needed something that I didn't have to worry so much about getting it dirty. Right now I'm filming on a 35mm G Master. What is this lens, like $1,300, $1,400? I don't want to get grease or dirt or dust all over this if I'm not able to clean it right away. Compared to the Action 4, here's a shot of me dropping it into a drain pan full of oil. And then here I just took it to the kitchen sink and washed it with Dawn dish soap. Another point to it being smaller than the FX30, you can fit it where you can't fit a full-size lens and camera. Here's a shot where I had to put the camera between the engine and the radiator in a car. When it comes to battery life, I get a very consistent 1 hour and 46 minutes. If your goal is to extend your battery life, I recommend shooting at 24 frames in 1080p. The Action 4 produces a really high quality image in my opinion, but just like any other camera, it doesn't do very well in low light. But then again, no camera does that well in low light. Everybody talks about this camera or that camera doing well in low light. If you put more light on that scene, it's gonna look better than if it had less light. You're gonna get less noise, you're gonna get less artifacting, you're gonna get less banding. More light is typically better. When I was watching review videos comparing a Hero 12 versus the Action 4, the low light wasn't that different between the GoPro and the Action 4. Let's talk accessories. The Action 4 comes with a cage. I don't really understand the appeal of buying these Ulanzi cages or these other third-party cages when it comes with what is, in my opinion, a pretty nice cage already. I've dropped the Action 4 off of a scooter going 20 miles an hour and it wasn't really phased. The cage protected it. It did its job. Another big motivator for me buying the Action Cam was so that I could do POV videos. This has always been a forte for action cameras. You can use chest harnesses and then they have head harnesses, which I don't really recommend. The camera is shaky enough when you're doing POV that if you're looking all around and doing this crap, it's not gonna look very good. I use a V30 SD card, link in the description below to the exact one that I use. I only ever use my Action Cam handheld or like on a chest harness, but I did look up to see if they make ARCA adapters for Action Cams, and they do, and it's not that expensive. If I wanted to use it on a tripod, this is what I would get. I haven't used any ND filters yet because the image looks pretty nice in full sunlight. I like the battery door, I like the SD card door, no complaints here. They do seem pretty fragile, but as long as you're not a goon opening and closing them, I don't really think it's going to be too much of a problem not to break them. The two buttons are pretty mushy, but they're tactile enough so you never really mistake if you turn the camera on or if you press record. A feature I'm really pleased with are the magnets that the camera has on the bottom and on the side. Here's a shot of me putting the camera on the hood of my car and driving down Bush Highway. A big concern people have with the reigning champ GoPro is its reliability and its durability. I've never owned a GoPro because for years, all I've ever heard is how unreliable they are. I'm happy to say that the Action 4 has never given me any trouble. I've never lost any files, it's never shut off unexpectedly, it's never overheated. It's fallen off of my scooter going 20 miles an hour like I said. I dropped it in a bucket of oil, no problem. Wash it off in the sink, easy. The app for the Action 4 is the DJI Mimo app. I've never really used the app, but I don't think people like it. The internet doesn't seem to like the Mimo app very much. A concern that I've seen going around that I'm gonna address right now, I have to admit, it kind of went right over my head whenever I bought the camera. But apparently, you're not able to use this camera without downloading the Mimo app and registering it with DJI. I wanted to use the Mimo app because I wanted access to whatever extended features that the camera had available. So to me, registering the app must have just been such a small speed bump, I didn't even realize it was mandatory in order to use the camera. I don't agree with that at all. That does not make me happy to hear that you're locked out of your camera unless you want to register it. That being said, it's not an always online camera. I'm not worried about DJI suddenly uploading a firmware without me knowing that just bricks my camera. If you're worried about DJI having all your personal information, whatever it is that they're asking for in their registration, enjoy the GoPro.